Hello?
Sugar tits.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Hello! Are we alright?
No, I'm off left.
Good.
Oh, dear.
We're back. As usual. Every month. We're always back. We're always back.
We are.
This is your usual TBO episode.
It is.
We've got another special coming soon.
Hopefully. We'll get on that, we promise.
So we've got the usual format. We've got some films, we've got some games, we've got some news.
We've got a game.
Yeah, we've got a game.
We've got some films. And we've got some news.
Yeah. How you been?
I've been alright. How you been?
Not too bad.
Good.
Been all good.
Car's passed its MOT, is yours?
Yeah, Taz.
I know.
It's good.
I was here when he got key.
Good. It's always good when you pass an MOT.
It is.
Because there's always that fucking fear. Just as you hand your key over, you're like, oh shit. You sit there with anxiety all the way through it, and then they're like, you've passed, mate, you've passed. And you're like, oh, thank fuck. Basically, like taking your driving test all over again.
The worst one, the worst one is when they go, oh, it failed. Oh shit, on what? And then they go, oh, it's nothing major. We just need to change your tyre, or you just need a new windscreen wiper, or a new bulb in your headlamps. And it's like, you bastards.
Yeah, you could have just passed that, and then I'd have just changed the bulb, or just said, oh mate, look, this bulb's out, let me change it. You know what I mean?
They're the worst. When it's something quick and easy, and you Americans don't understand that because you don't have MOTs, but over here they're basically a yearly service inspection.
Yeah, but then again, that's another thing. Why don't they have MOTs? They're a perfectly good idea to make sure that the car you're driving is perfectly safe to be on the road. And it's regulated.
Yeah.
It's a regulated check. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But never mind. Right. So we're going to start off with our filmage, because there's more to talk about in the filmage. And we're going to start off...
Or do we start off easy and get the game out of the way for a change?
Yeah, okay.
Let's get the...
Okay, so game-wise, we are looking a bit thin on the ground.
April's a thin... I mean, there might be a lot of indie releases, but I don't know.
We're looking a bit thin on the ground for big release. Okay, so basically, you've got your Final Fantasy X HD remaster coming out on the Switch and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
You've got another Final Fantasy 12 coming out.
No, 10-2. Oh, you're looking down.
At the end of the month.
Sorry, he's looking down. I was looking at 10-2.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not 12.
No, 10 and 10-2, the HD remaster, is coming out as one title. And then Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, is also getting a remaster. Because Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
They're also getting the remaster on the Xbone and the Switch. I must say, the Switch is basically, I think, going to end up like the PS2. It's going to end up like with every game on it, and then it's going to be that console where everyone's going to like, even in 10 years, people are going to be like, do you know what? I need to get a Switch.
I've got a PS4. Like now, I've got a PS4 and I've got a PS2.
Yeah.
In 10 years, it'll be I've got the PS7 and a Nintendo Switch,
and I've still got the Switch.
Yeah.
You know, I still have a Wii.
I still have a Wii. I have one most mornings.
The Nintendo Wii, sir. I still have the Nintendo Wii because it's one of them things where if you're bored, you're all sat around, you know, you've got the family together or whatnot, you're all sat around and you're all doing the usual, someone's like this on Facebook. Because everyone fucking does it. It's the way it works in family life now. I still like that thing of going, anyone want to do some bowling, some archery?
Bit of bowling,
bit of archery.
Bit of Wii Sport.
Yeah, okay. Boom. On goes the Wii, click goes the Nintendo Sports, and then
half an hour later you're having fun.
Half an hour later, even Auntie Edna is up on the Wii Fit board doing a ski jump. Woo!
Careful your hip.
Yeah.
Your hip.
And that's what I love about the Wii. It's an old console, but the graphics have aged fantastically.
Yeah. And also, you start at like 2 o'clock afternoon or 3 in the afternoon, just after you've had your Christmas tea.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, it's gotten dark early. You look at clock. Shit!
It's 7 o'clock and you've burned off all your Christmas dinner and now you're hungry again.
I'm getting a bit peckish already.
Yeah.
Is it too early for tea? Shit, it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Quick, get
this is what I'm saying. The Wii, the Nintendo have always had that.
They have.
That ageability.
And it's still there with the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, for me, there is even Nintendo 64 titles.
Yeah.
That people still play.
Yeah.
I found myself the other day, I'm a big fan of emulators, okay? I'm not going to lie, I love an emulator. And I've been playing on my DS emulator, and I've been playing Mario...
Only download the games if you already own them, boys and girls. Cough, cough, wink, wink.
Or they're abandonware.
Yes.
But I've been playing on...
Only get your emulators legally.
Yes. I've been playing Mario 64 on the DS. And it's fantastic. And it's an old-ass game.
Yeah.
But the graphics have aged well. The story still works. And it's one of them things where you can just sit and play on it for hours. And before you know it, you've completed the game. And you're just like, fucking hell, that was great. I'll start again.
Yeah. So, anyway, we've got a lot of Switch shit coming out.
A lot of Switch stuff coming out. But I love that. I love that.
We've got World War Z. The game from the movie.
Yes.
So, the game that's based on a movie that's based on a book.
That's based on a legend.
That's based on a myth.
That's based on a myth.
That's based on a man.
Yeah. George A. Romero. Anyway.
Meanwhile, back on the... it looks like it's going to be your generic zombie shooter 5006.
I'm kind of getting bored of the whole zombie shooter game. For me, one that looks like it should have a lot of potency when it comes out, or if it's already out, is Days Gone.
Yeah, I think that's come out on early access, but let me... here we go. Days Gone, 26th of April. But no...
There you go then, yeah. So,
the one...
we have two games to talk about. I thought we had two to talk about.
We also have Mortal Kombat 11. But
yeah.
Anyway, before we get onto that, the one that disappointed me was The Walking Dead... the new one.
Yes.
Yeah. You know which one I mean.
Yeah. The one that the hype was built up for, as usual.
And then it was basically shit version of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
With it was a reskin of The Walking Dead, which you can of Left 4 Dead with Walking Dead characters, which I'm sure there's a mod for that.
Yeah. For me, the zombie games that I've always liked, the Resident Evils are of their own category in zombie games. They're the way that zombie games for me should be.
Yeah.
I do
like Telltale Walking Dead, which are different.
I do like the Telltale versions. I also liked.
Give us a clue.
You play as Frank, the photographer.
Oh, yeah, that one. You know the internet's screaming at us now.
Yeah, but I don't know what even to search.
Frank the photographer.
It'd help if I could type. Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Fuck the bed.
Dead Rising was a category changer for me. Because it was that thing where you could run around, pick up anything, and then you can use that as a weapon. Dead Island.
Yeah.
Dead Island for me is where zombie games need to look. If they're wanting that scare factor, because Dead Island is very scary, especially when you could just be rifling through a bag and all of a sudden you just hear this, and all of a sudden shit, there's like zombies.
See, I thought that's what The Walking Dead would be like, somewhere between the mobile game and Dead Rising.
Yes.
I thought it was going to find that, and I knew it was multiplayer, but I was like, okay, so it'll be like Dead Rising, you can play it on your own, or you can play it with your friends, and you'll go around... Yeah, what did I say?
Dead Rising.
And you can go around and you can find a baseball bat and wrap it in barbed wire later on, or you can find a gun and like 2 bullets.
Yeah.
But no, it's Left 4 Dead shit version.
I think...
Oh dear. It's thinking...
A zombie game I think would work would be a zombie version of The Long Dark.
Right.
Now, if you've played The Long Dark, it's your average styled survival game. You run around, keep your health up, keep your food up, keep your warmth up, wrap up in clothes. You can run around and find clothing, you can find sewing kits, you can craft. It's a really good game. Turn that into a zombie game, and you're on a winner. Yeah. The reason being is that you've got that the survival element's already built into it. Now all you need is some real enemies.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what I want to see. I want to see a survival game, basically the island.
Yeah.
Okay, but not as the island's very complex.
Yeah.
Whereas the Long Dark isn't.
Yeah.
And because of its simpler format, the Long Dark's more appealing. So I think that if you was to turn that into the zombie style, I think you'd be onto a winner.
Right.
Because I think what Dead Island was missing was that they had the crafting thing down, but they missed the survivability.
Yeah.
The keep up your food and everything else.
I think the reason Dead Island didn't have that is because the whole game takes place in like a day.
Yes.
Technically. It's all one. Everything you do
Yeah.
in Dead Island takes place the same day or the same couple of days, where
I think it's split over 2 days, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And I think that
but yeah, in a
because I'm sure there's night times in there.
Yeah, but like I said, we say in your 3
I'll tell you what's the best zombie game that's been released recently. No, I can't.
No, we can't.
I'm going to open up Steam because I know it's in my Steam library.
Okay, but in your 3 days, you don't have to worry about your survival so much. But no, but we're going to go with World War Z, and it's coming. I think the problem is that it was announced too early,
Yes.
and that any hype around it has died.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not probably going to be playing World War Z, personally.
No, unless it's like a humble bundle in a year or so.
Yes, basically. And the only reason that is just because I am kind of bored of the same rehashed zombie format and Dying Light.
Yeah.
Dying Light, for me, is possibly the best zombie game that's been released in the last 10 years, other than the Resident Evil series. And the reason is because they got everything right in that. The crafting, the survivability.
Yeah.
World War Z, I've seen bits of what it should look like. The game looks very beautiful.
It's a third-person shooter with...
But it is that, like we keep saying, it's the same old format and we are kind of bored of it.
Yeah.
It'll be one that, like I say, it's not going to be one I'm going to run out and buy. It is going to be one that will be in a bundle, or if it goes on sale and I can get it for less than a tenner.
Yeah.
And I do get the feeling that this game will be priced at below a tenner relatively quickly.
World War Z. I mean, it's coming out at 35 quid, which isn't bad.
£35 for a new game means that they themselves don't think it's going to sell well.
Completely agree with you there.
Because games that they know are going to sell well nowadays start at £55
Yeah.
for a base game. Plus, then you've got your gold edition and your fucking ultra edition and your unloaded
you can
Steam Cum edition.
You can get the Steam edition for 20 quid on CD keys. So, yeah, there's a...
Basically, in 6 months, buy World War Z.
Yeah.
Because it'll be below a £10 and more than likely it'll be good value for money at that point.
Yeah. Another game that's coming out is Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah,
it's a Mortal Kombat game,
but
honestly, that's all I'm going to say on it.
I have seen some gameplay for it.
Right.
There are a lot of new combos, a lot of new executions, but it is Mortal Kombat.
It's a Mortal Kombat.
It's a Mortal Kombat.
We've played 10 others like it.
It'll be Mortal Kombat 10. I really enjoyed. The reason I really enjoyed it is because of the extra characters.
Yeah.
Not the Mortal Kombat characters like your Freddy and your Jason.
You like the additional characters that from other things that they bought.
They bought in, and I've always liked that when fighting games do that because it just, I don't know, it just gives you that, because there's always that thing where you go, well, who would win in a fight?
Yeah.
And
it's that Goku Superman thing again.
And that's why the games like Capcom vs Marvel and Super Smash Bros.
And all the rest.
And all the rest of them. They've always done really well because people have always wanted to know, well, who would win in a fight?
Yeah.
You know,
although, you know the one thing, you know that old Superman Goku thing? I reckon if they released a game, they'd have to match them stat for stat.
They'd have to be matched.
Yeah. And then it's just down to player skill.
Well, hold on. No. Sorry, 1 minute. I would say no, they wouldn't. I would say that Superman, Goku, Superman, right? Superman, Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to
No.
watch. I wouldn't want to be on this earth
No.
for that fight.
But I think
because what would happen is one of them would push the other one through the entire planet and split the fucker in half.
But I think if anyone ever did the Superman Goku in a game, they would have to match them stat for stat, and it would have to depend on player skill. I think that's the only way you could do it.
Mortal Kombat games are Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
The new Mortal Kombat games are better because of the cinematography of it.
Yeah.
But it is still going to be Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they do get quite boring quite quickly.
Yeah.
Days Gone, obviously, is a PS4 exclusive, which is why we don't normally touch upon them. But I am going to because of the fact that I think Days Gone, as a zombie game, will lead to people buying the PlayStation 4.
Yeah? You think it's like when The Last of Us came out and the PS3 and PS3 sales went up?
Yes. I think so, because Days Gone, from what I've seen of Days Gone, looks like it could be the best zombie game of the last 5 years. Easily. And I think that it will lead to people buying PlayStation 4s to be able to play it.
Yeah.
Because from what I've heard, there is no intention of taking this off PlayStation 4 and putting it onto multi-console.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when what's its name comes out, that new Hideo Kojima game.
Yeah.
That's going to be PS4 only, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also annoying because I think now we need to remove the exclusive. I think realistically now, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft need to fucking team up and create the console.
I mean, that's the thing. The thing is that I think, for the most part, there is no reason a PC, an Xbox, and a PlayStation 4 can't get the same game at the same time, with the Nintendo Switch version either coming at the same time or a little bit later, just because the Nintendo Switch is very different hardware and it might take a little longer to sort out.
Now, of course, if you have a PC, you do have a very decent ability now with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to play a lot of their catalogue games on your PC. Now, PlayStation have been a little bit of a dick and have made it that you need to use the PlayStation 4 controller
but
to play their games.
But whatever, that's
the way Disney wrote it, right? So what? A PlayStation 4 controller is going to set you back 30 quid. A PlayStation 4 is going to set you back 300. Which would you rather buy? Because realistically, if you buy the PC, you can stream most of the PlayStation 4 games to your PC without any real fuss. Same with the Xbox One games now as well.
Yeah.
So, is it that the PC should be taking over the market? It should.
Yeah.
But it won't, because of the sheer fact that, once again, you can buy a PlayStation 4 or an Xbone for 300 quid. You want a decent PC that's going to last you the same length of time as the consoles will.
Yeah.
You need to be spending double that minimum.
Yeah.
And that is where the PC falls down.
Yeah.
And that's why these exclusives won't end.
No.
Because they know that until people are willing, until PCs, gaming PCs of a really decent spec drop from £1,200 to 300, it ain't never going to stop.
No, I completely agree with you there.
And that's a shame because it means that you always then end up having to have more than one console.
Yeah.
Which is untidy.
But yeah, so that's the games really. There's also a new Nintendo Labo kit releasing as well.
Also, I don't know what the Konami Anniversary Collection is, but it is coming out as a compilation across all platforms.
Yeah. I assume
it's basically everything that they want to release quickly before Kojima goes, no chance.
Yeah.
Basically. But as games, unfortunately, gaming, as we said, this month is pretty thin on the ground. Next month is also pretty thin on the ground.
It's got a couple of good ones next month.
I know, but even then, it's gaming this year as to what has been announced, because there are always those last minute announce.
Yeah.
are always slow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What I love the fact that Overkill's The Walking Dead, which is what we've been talking about is now TBD.
Really, after the beta,
was supposed to be February 6th. Now it's TBD.
Yeah.
Lol. Never mind. Movies.
Also, guys, I am just going to put out that today of recording, I finished The Walking Dead, the final season.
Lovely.
The last episode is definitely the best.
Yeah.
Since season 1.
Okay.
Season 2 was alright. Season 3 was Season 4 was until this last episode. It brings you back to that first season very much so. And it's worth a go. If you can honestly skip season 2 and season 3 by doing a quick Google recap of what happens in, and you'll be fine. But for the last episode, I think season 4's worth it. Points to Skybound Entertainment for doing it. And, finishing it after Telltale died a death.
Which is a shame, because Telltale had a nice way of doing things.
They did.
But like we said before, it was their format, I think, that let them down. The fact that they weren't willing to.
Yeah. I do actually
So
have...
it's the arcade
collection. There's loads of stuff coming out. So there's various collections. So there's arcade classics, Haunted Castle, Typhoon or Ajax, Nemesis, Vulcan Venture. This is the Konami collection, by the way, guys. I had a look at it. Thundercross and Scramble. But there's different. There's Castlevania, Contra. There's different collections coming out within
the anniversary collection. So you buy the anniversary collection and you get those when they release them.
Yeah, you get loads of... You'll end up with a lot of games.
Yeah. So we're going to move into films. We're going to start the month off strong with Shazam. Literally.
I wish you guys could have seen his face then.
This is DC doing
what they should have done when they made Batman v Superman.
Yes. Although, at the same time, this is DC selling out. And I'm saying this, and people are going to disagree, and I don't care. Because ever since Suicide Squad, they've had this big thing of, well, ever since Deadpool came out, DC have gone, we need to make ourselves funny.
Yeah.
DC aren't funny. They're not supposed to be funny.
Although this is a funnier character.
Shazam is a funny... Same as The Flash. The Flash is a funnier character. They're supposed to still be very dark and gritty. You know? And it annoys me that this... I can't... I want to watch it. And I'm going to watch it. But I know I'm going to end up annoyed.
Yeah.
Because even from the trailers, it just seems like they've just gone, right, here's the film. Now let me get this extra mature cheddar and cheese this motherfucker up. Is what they seem to have done. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. Because Shazam had the ability for me to be the Deadpool of the DC universe, cinematic universe that is. And I think that they've tried to do it so hard that they've gone past Deadpool and they've gone into that pure cheese, and it's gonna, I don't think it's gonna be a good film.
No, as much as people want it to be because people are hating on Captain Marvel.
Yes,
that's fair. I am inclined. I disagree with the internet on everything because I like annoying people.
Yeah.
I need to see Captain Marvel still.
I do as well.
I do want to watch it before I watch Endgame.
We have to watch it before Endgame.
Yeah. But
we're going to. I think me and the missus are meant to be going to watch it at the cinema in the week.
I think we're meant to be going next week. So yeah, we'll have seen it before Endgame. Don't worry. And but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. To Shazam.
No, like I said, I'm looking forward to watching it. I just don't think it's going to be a good film. I'm
going to reserve all judgment. Based on what I've seen, I think it's got really good potential. I just need to wait and see more.
Like I say, I think that from what I've seen of the trailers, it looks to me like they may have just put a little bit too much cheese in it. I could be proven completely wrong. I could watch it and think, well, this could potentially save the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But I'm not holding much hope. And the reason being is Aquaman.
Yeah.
I've not watched...
I
haven't watched it. I've seen enough of what happens in it to know that they over-convoluted the whole thing.
They really did. There were 2 or 3 points in that movie where I went, oh, it'd be over in 10, 15 minutes. The black and white...
Well, this is what a lot of people are saying. It's like they took every single Aquaman story and tried to push it all into one film.
Well, they took 2 or 3 villains and another story arc.
Yeah. They went too far with it. Yeah. And I think this could... This, for me... This is the tipping point,
and I think that was
for the DC cinematic universe. Shazam is the tipping point,
and I think that was the problem they made with Batman v Superman as well. Was the fact that you got Batman v Superman, but also there's Lex Luthor involved, and also there's fucking Doomsday, and it's like
and Wonder Woman. I mean, granted,
Wonder Woman was fine,
Wonder Woman saved that film.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman in a Batman v Superman. Absolutely fine, but then when you throw in Lex and you throw in Doomsday and you just get no, that was again. I agree, too much, too many cooks.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, I'm surprised they didn't just fucking use the Joker because Harley Quinn was in Batman vs Superman, wasn't she? In the Justice League film?
She was in one of them.
She's in Batman vs Superman. I'm sure she is.
I'll take your word for it.
So even then, you've got Harley Quinn in there as well, and then Suicide Squad ruined it. I think if they'd have left Suicide Squad to how they had finished it before Deadpool, it probably would have been an amazing film. But then they ruined it by
reshooting a lot of stuff.
And obviously reshooting it as well. It was like so obvious that they just went cut and paste, and that's what ruined the whole of that film. I think Shazam is the tip. If this film is good, DC Universe Cinematic Universe may continue. If this film flops, I don't think we'll see much more of it.
Fair enough. Well, we'll wait
Personally.
and see. Moving on to our next film.
Pet Sematary is the remake of the classic of the telling of the book of the writings of Stephen King.
Yeah.
This is something for me which... I don't think it's gonna. It's another one I don't think it's gonna be very good.
I'm looking forward to this.
I don't know. I think there's so many of these remakes out now that they're starting to annoy me. I think that's why I'm not interested.
Right. It's not the fact that it's a Pet Sematary remake. It's the fact it's a remake in general.
It's
that's
just
putting a sour taste in your mouth.
It's just like I am sick of remakes. Like. Disney are doing it, right? Disney are doing it with all of their films, right? Okay. But the way Disney are doing it, yes, it's the same-ish story.
They're changing it enough to make it different.
Yes.
I think, for me, the reason I'm not minding a lot of these Stephen King remakes recently is that they are, at least they're older remakes. They're from the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
Whereas, in some cases, they're remaking stuff and it's like, but I remember that.
Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, but that came out 10 years ago. Why the hell are you remaking something from 10 years ago? Like, I was pretty sure I heard a legitimate talks about The Matrix being remade and rebooted.
Mate, I'm pretty sure I heard one about fucking Saw.
Yeah. And it annoys me. And granted, this film it might be alright, okay?
It probably will be because...
And it is probably going to have the scares in it that you want. But I am getting annoyed with the whole let's keep remaking these films. Like I don't know. I think at least wait until I don't know. I don't think a film should be remade for at least 50 years.
Fair enough.
That means for me that by then the original people that made the film are either dead or retired, and there's been a long enough time that it can be reintroduced to the populace.
Yeah.
I just think that The original Pet Sematary film was like what, the 80s?
I'm looking that up
the
now.
70s?
89, so 99...
20 years.
30 years, mate.
30 years.
So that could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse. But, I don't know. I'm just getting annoyed with the whole remake thing, and it is leaving a sour taste.
Mm.
You know, I just think that there are so many remakes now out there that it's like, when is anyone going to get an original idea? Which is why I like Jordan Peele.
Right.
Because his films, Get Out and this new one, Us, that is going to be coming out soon, look good and were good because they're different and it's original writing. And I think that, I don't know, I think that for a lot of these remakes, it's almost like it's an easy paycheck.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to be getting an easy paycheck. My paycheck isn't easy, so why should anyone else's be? You know?
I mean, the people who work on it isn't an easy paycheck. It's the people who come up with the initial idea to do it. The writers, the directors, the editors, the cameramen, the sound crew.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying they've got an easy job. What I'm saying is that it's
the person who first
the
sits
production company. It's an easy paycheck.
The 5 dozen middle-aged men sat around looking like undertakers with white hair, going, "What do we remake today?" Before we move on, can you just scroll up, because the other film that's going out, The Best of Enemies, I do just want to touch on it. It's about a black cop going against the KKK.
Right.
And it looks really good. I've seen the trailer. It looks good. If you want something a little bit different...
Well, it's a biography because it's based on a true story.
It is. It's on a little bit different, a little bit nice, a little bit kooky.
It's a dramatised documentary.
Yeah,
basically.
But it also does seem to have some comedy in it. Go have a watch.
Well, so does Life. Life has comedy in it, I suppose. So
yeah.
It would have to.
But yeah. Moving along, we'll...
there is also another documentary coming out about the legend that is Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. Just want to touch on that because obviously she did pass recently, and she was an amazing talent.
She was.
And I think that if you've ever listened to any of Aretha's music and liked it, I think it would be worth you watching the film to learn about her and learn about her as a black icon coming from the 70s in a time when black people were starting to become...
Yeah, but there was still a lot of hate.
There was still a lot of hate, but they were starting to become more than, you know, what people perceived black people to be.
Yeah.
Then we basically keep going through to the end of the month.
Yeah.
Well, mid-month, sorry, for Hellboy.
Which is a very... I remember the original Hellboy.
This is once again another remake.
But the reason I don't mind this one, right? The first two were not like the comics.
No.
The Hellboy and Hellboy 2. This seems very much the graphic novel Hellboy.
This is the Hulk, okay? This is the story of the Hulk. Hellboy is Hulk. Hellboy 2 is the Incredible Hulk. This, for me, should be the Avengers Assemble. This should be when you start to see what should have happened with the Hulk.
And
this is how Hellboy should be being played. This for me should be good. I think that they've cast really well with David Harbour. I think he's done amazing to get into shape for this film.
Not saying that what's his name wasn't good in the originals. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
He was very good. I'm not blaming him. Again, when it comes to a bad film, I very rarely blame the actors. I blame the writing and the production crew.
The story. The first film, for me, was passable.
Yeah.
The second film, what the fuck?
Well, they might as well have just called that Abe Sapien.
Yeah.
Because it was more about Abe and his girlfriend than Hellboy and the Golden
Which, funny
Army.
enough, I'm not being funny, but there was a film, something like
The Sound of Water.
The Sound of Water, which is basically the story of Abe.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. But it is.
Yeah.
But it is. It fucking was.
Whether you like it or not. But yeah, this Hellboy, this is a remake that I'm in the mindset of it's okay for it to happen because it erases a bad past.
See, the thing is, though, is that there's two actors in here.
Mila Djokovic and Ian McShane.
That is why I think this would be a good film. David Harbour is still, for me, a relative unknown because the main thing he's done that everyone knows him from is Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So he's still a relative unknown for me. Okay.
Not that we're calling Stranger Things fucking unknown.
No.
Everyone and their dog's seen that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, as an actor,
he's done one big thing, and that a name does not make him yet.
Mila has, as we know, has been
done everything.
Anything that's sci-fi, Mila's normally in, and she's fucking good at what she does. And Ian McShane could have, for me, he could have ended up being Hellboy. He is that big, burly bloke that could have potentially done that.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't go in for the audition.
Yeah.
And then they went, we're not going to cast you as Hellboy, we want to use David. Do you want to go for...
Yeah, whatever character he is playing now. There is also a film coming out after Hellboy, The Missing Link. It's a family film. It's supposed to be about the missing link between Homo erectus and Homo sapiens. Basically, the missing link between us and the Neanderthal.
Us and a monkey.
Yeah. It looks like it should be a funny film. It'll be one that I think I will end up watching. But then we do literally move into pretty much the end of the month.
Yeah. There's a
Disney documentary coming out about penguins. I don't know how good that'll be or not. I
think it's going to be one of those things that, although Disney have put money in it, I think it's one of those low budget, low risk, high reward things.
The thing is,
if this movie flops, Disney will probably just make the money back anyway and don't have to worry.
They did a film about penguins before, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it The Walk with Penguins or something?
Yeah.
This is
something like that.
This is very much the same. This is what they're calling it's Disney Nature. It's a Disney documentary, and all they've done is they've named the penguins, and they're basically going to tell you the story of these penguins, but using names for them.
Yeah.
I think, as a nature documentary lover myself, I think it'll be okay, because it'll be a documentary, basically. I mean, there's one star, Ed Helms. He'll be the narrator.
Yeah.
And because it's a documentary, I think it'll be good.
Like I say, I think it's one of those things for Disney. It's low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
If it fails, they're not going to lose any money. If it succeeds, they make money where they haven't spent any.
Yeah.
But
then of course, we come to the biggest film release of the year,
which everyone and their dog has been waiting for a year.
Yes, and that is Avengers Endgame.
It is.
The trailers are looking cum-worthy, literally. I think the first time I watched the Avengers Endgame trailer, the full trailer, I think I jizzed my pants.
I'm just gonna scoot you away.
I can't wait for this film. They've now released the runtime.
Yeah.
It's a little over 3 hours.
Yeah. So
basically,
bring a pee bag.
Make sure you've got pee bags. Make sure that you've got snacks and drinks. I think this is going to be one of the most emotional Marvel films out to date. For me.
Can I say one thing before we actually get into it? I want to dispel any rumours. Ant-Man is not going to crawl up Thanos' arse, nose, ear, mouth, or any other orifice and expand and kill him.
Ant-Man is the key.
I will roll with that, but he ain't going to be...
He ain't going to kill Thanos.
At least not in that way.
No. They wouldn't be bringing the universe's biggest gun to the fight if Ant-Man was going to kill Thanos. Even if he turned into Giant Man, he is not going to kill Thanos. Okay? Because I want to see this real lovely image of Ant-Man going into Giant Man, going to punch Thanos, and Thanos just sort of grabbing him and going, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see, because that will happen. Ant-Man is only going to be the key because of the dimensions.
Yeah, the technology to shrink to nanoatoms or whatever.
And basically hop universes.
Yeah. Honestly, what I still want, and he deserves this, I want Hulk to have his day.
He will do.
I want it. You know, if he doesn't...
Although we are still seeing in the trailers that Hulk is not coming out and Banner is still in the War Machine. Is still in the Hulkbuster armor. However, there is not going to be an end to this film where the Hulk does not make an appearance.
You know, if it does, honestly, I will be legitimately angry.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there is not you can say what you want in the comments. You can say, well, it's not going to be. It's going to be Cap and Iron Man who are just going to kill him. And it's like...
Cap and Iron Man... I'm sorry now. Cap and Iron Man are dead by the end of this film.
Yeah, they are. But, or gone in another way.
Yeah.
But...
Cap, for sure. Cap is dead.
Well, so is Robert, because he's not signed his contract. He's gone.
No. But what? No, I know that the contract's not... But I'm saying, as character-wise... Cap is dead. I think Tony may not die... He may die, but he may not die, but become advisor to the new Avengers.
Right. Either way you want to slice this, I don't care at the end of the day who, quote unquote... Personally, on a very different, slight side note, I would like them not to kill Thanos.
I don't think they will.
Because of the thing of Thanos of keep coming back. I would like them to defeat him. We unfortunately 100% know that things are going to get reversed because Disney can't keep their pants on and have already revealed to us Spider-Man Homecoming. But I want Hulk.
Although there is still the potential that Homecoming is set before Infinity War. There is still
There is
that potential, and it is that little niggle inside of you to going, what if we're being played and the end of this film is the end?
You know. Before you said that, I hadn't considered that. So, you're a bastard.
The only reason
for putting that niggle in me fucking head.
The only reason is, and there is a strong theory about, because he does say in Infinity War he was on a field trip, and Homecoming is all about the fact he is on a lot of different field trips. And there is that horrible little thought that this is the end of the cinematic universe as we know it.
Spider-Man
and any other subsequent films are set before the Infinity War storyline, and they did this, Infinity War and Endgame, because of the contracts of Robert and Chris.
Yeah. So
I don't want that to be true.
Robert and Chris could still be alive. Let's just say they could be, but because there's no sequels and they're all prequels... They don't need to be it.
They don't need to have contracts.
All right. But let's go. Right. So my personal thing for this, I believe either Cap or Iron Man will be the guy to stop Thanos in the end. Because let's be honest, it's not Avengers. It's Cap and Iron Man and friends.
Yes. It'll be Cap
or Iron Man. Right. Hawkeye is not going to play the big part again. Unfortunately, guys, you all want it. He's a good human. That's all he is. Cap's a super soldier. Iron Man's got a fucking... Well, he's Iron Man.
He's a brain.
Yeah.
Cap's the heart.
Yeah.
Iron Man's the brain.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye is the conscience.
Yeah.
That's the way it's always worked.
Yeah. What I would like... Hulk is the one who smashes 7 barrels of shit out of Thanos before one of them walks up to him and goes, Are you done? Like, Thanos... This is your last chance. I have stopped Hulk. If I say go, you die.
The only issue is because of how much of a beating Thanos gave Hulk at the start of Infinity War.
And then I'd like to see Thanos give up, everything goes back to normal, Thanos fucks off to the other end of the universe, and we're done.
What would be interesting to see is if the cosmic powers of Brie Larson can enhance the Hulk's anger. Because if they were going to do anything like that, and that was how they got the Hulk back, it could potentially be that Marvel uses her ability to force the Hulk out, but like supercharged Hulk.
And can I just point out one thing? Stars: Brie Larson, Scarlett Johansson and Karen Gillan. I like how we've got tits, tits, tits.
And then Bradley Cooper on the end.
Yeah.
Pretty blonde boy.
Yeah. The only other option there would have realistically been...
Downey Jr.
No, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
But, you know, we've basically got tits, tits and more tits.
But what they are trying to say to you is that, with that, is the fact that realistically, as usual, the strongest heroes in the universe are actually the women.
I mean, Karen Gillan's character we know plays into this, but what will do...
There is that big thing that everyone is saying that obviously Tony Stark and her are going to have this real big friendship, but she's still Nebula. She's still going to be fucking... Although she says she hates Thanos...
Which she does.
I still don't think she'll be... I still think if he really does click his fingers, she will come begging like a lapdog.
Well, we'll see. Guys, we promise you that after we've seen Endgame, we will give a full... rundown and blah-de-blah.
And explain what we think of it.
But that is
films and games. And that is time for the news.
Why do I get the news anchor sound now playing?
Yeah, right. I got the.
Yeah. So first and foremost, a man has been fined £50. That's about $60-70 for throwing littering after throwing McDonald's to seagulls from his car.
So he was littering.
He was feeding seagulls.
He was littering, and he was fined for it.
And he was feeding seagulls, which most of the time, again, they tell you not to do.
Yeah. So where's the story here?
Yeah.
This is the thing with the Metro. The reason I've chosen this story is because it is a bit ridiculous.
Quiet phone.
It is a bit ridiculous that he has been ordered to pay £50, because realistically they could have turned around to him and say, "Look, you either pick it up, or we pay you £50." But it is food. And because it's food and he was feeding wildlife, granted they shouldn't be feeding the wildlife because it encourages them to become more aggressive. I don't know, but it is one of those stories where it is a non-story. Because at the end of the day, the man he threw 2 tiny bits of bread. He says he opened his window, threw tiny bits of bread from his McMuffin to about 20 seagulls, and that was it. And it was gone in seconds.
But the problem is that you were feeding seagulls. I think it was the feeding seagulls, not the littering.
I mean, the thing is that, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's more about the fact that he was feeding the birds, which they do tell you not to do, because obviously seagulls are very known to become quite aggressive and very confident.
Yeah.
But at the same time... And would they have fined him if he had had a loaf of bread and or a bag of birdseed and he was throwing birdseed to the pigeons?
Yeah. No, I get...
And the chances are possibly not.
I get that.
Also, what's hilarious is when you realise that he was feeding seagulls in Nottingham, which
is about as far away from the sea as you can get.
Nottingham is Midlands. It's the mainland, like the middle of the mainland.
Yeah, it's landlocked, guys. You ain't...
You know, it's just funny.
It is.
That he's been fined for it, and it's in Nottingham, and the fact
it's a non-story.
It's a non-story, and the Metro, by the way, we're now on 135.6 million shares. And
wow.
It's still growing. And it is. I love their tagline. It's news, but not as you know it.
Well, yeah, that's definitely true. Because I guarantee no other newspaper would have told me about a man fined for littering because he was feeding seagulls.
Indeed. We're going to go with a story here that is equally funny as it is worrying.
Yeah.
A man has been circumcised by mistake because surgeons confused him with another patient. This happened in Leicester. This happened at an NHS hospital. Holy shit. You know, for a start off, I'd love to know what the guy went in for. He should have been having his bladder inspected in a cystoscopy. So he was supposed to be basically having a camera stuck down his chap to have a look at his bladder to see if everything was all right and to see why he was having any problems with his bladder. And instead, they put him under, they cut off his foreskin and went, "There you go, sir. Well done." I would love to have seen his face.
You evil con.
When he woke up and like, "Oh, it's proper sore. Is it supposed to be the sore after a camera's been down it?"
Faces on nurse.
Face on nurse. What? What do you mean camera down? So you've been circumcised? What? What?
It's alright, guys. If he ever goes in for out like that, I'm going to swap his paperwork and get him a vasectomy.
Oh, mate, they won't do it for me. I won't charge. It's just funny. But it's not funny because obviously this guy is now, you know, had part of his penis removed that he didn't want removed.
No.
I'd imagine he's going to win a hell of a lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
Other events that have happened in January: unintentional connection of a patient.
And this is the same hospital, by the way, guys.
Yeah. Requiring oxygen to an airflow meter. So basically, what they did is instead of hooking them up to oxygen, they hooked them up to an airflow meter and nothing else. So obviously, no air was flowing.
Yeah.
You know, ridiculous. There was a swab left in a child who underwent surgery to remove a small lump of tissue from the back of his nose. So they opened him up and they left the swab inside of him. Also, a man had incorrect surgery due to him having a similar name to another patient. So they've not mentioned which surgery, but they opened him up and did surgery on him for surgery he didn't need because they got his name mixed up. So basically what I'm saying is that what these things seem to happen is because our NHS staff are overworked, underpaid, and are basically so overworked that they're making ridiculous mistakes.
Yeah. Hip implant on wrong side of patient.
You know,
This is ridiculous.
it shouldn't be happening.
No.
And it is happening, and it's only happening, as I've said, due to the fact that the staff are overworked and there's tiredness and they're making mistakes.
There's one thing you should always do in this, and this is from a doctor I watch on YouTube. He has a thing, and he actually changed this at his hospital where he works in America. He said, one thing I always did when I took my patients for surgery is I said, first thing, good morning. So, like you, good morning, Mr. Callum. How are we today? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I see you're in for a circumcision. And then instantly you would say, no, I'm here to have my bladder checked. And he did that. And that's what every doctor should be doing.
Yeah, they should be double checking, not just relying on the notes. They should be asking, because who's going to know what they're having done to them other than the patient?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that it's something that needs to be looked upon, because if hospitals are making mistakes like this, whether it's one hospital, 10 hospitals, or what, evidently there's an issue, and the issue is overworked and tired, and they need to be addressing this issue. And they're not going to, and that's the shame.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on now to
a woman who says she can't be racist because there's no black people on her street.
So you might think this is from a soap opera because they live on a real life Coronation Street. They've been handed an ASBO, but they insist that they've done nothing wrong. They've been accused of using racist language, but they've said there isn't even a black person in the street, so I don't know where they get that from. I don't think they understand that racism isn't about being racist to the people around you. It's about being racist to the human populace.
The fact of the matter is, you can be racist to black people, blue people, white people, green people, pink people, any fucking people.
Anybody can be racist. Anybody. It doesn't matter what colour you are, what creed you follow, what religion you follow.
I can be racist to him right now. By the way, we're both white, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, I can turn around and call him a crackerjack honky.
That is technically racism.
That is racism, right? There are people that would argue it's not racism, it's reclamation, because I'm reclaiming a word that is derogatory to us. However, I would say you are wrong.
Yeah.
It is racism.
Now, we're not throwing a whole thing in this. We did just do this as an example. We're fine. We're not going to start suing each other.
No.
Partly because if I tried to sue him, I'd get about 10 pence and a packet of Haribo, and that'd be it.
I just think it's hilarious that it shows the sheer ignorance
of people,
of humans in this world. And it doesn't matter that they're from a poor area, rich area, if they're from Britain or they're from America or from Africa or they're from Egypt or whatever. Racism
is racism.
And I think it's something that we need to just fucking get over already. Because realistically, How many races are on this earth? One.
Yeah.
The human goddamn race.
Yeah.
We are one species. You don't see racism in dogs.
No.
You don't see
a beagle running up to
a boxer and going, you're a boxing cunt. It doesn't work
No.
like that. It doesn't. And why is that? Because dogs are a race. The race of dogs. The canine race.
Same with cats.
But within the canine race or the feline race,
bats.
there are many different variations of that race. They are not different races. They are one race. We are one race.
And that's why you see so many variations in nature. Because, like, look at insects, right? Let's look at the butterfly. There are millions of species of butterfly. Because at some point there would have been two different species who'd have mated and created a third. And then through all these various breeds mating with each other, we've gotten all these different ones.
But they are still the race of butterflies.
Yeah. And that's why there's all this variation. Whereas with us, you don't see that too much. Because
That's what annoys me when they say, oh, he's mixed race, or he's from the white race, or the black race, or what. No. He is from
the humans.
He's from the human race, and he has a different amount of pigment in the skin, melanin, in his skin, that makes him darker or lighter.
Yeah.
And why do we have those differences? Because we started off in a country like Africa.
Yeah.
Very hot, arid, and the melanin in the skin helps protect against the sun, which is why you tan when you are under the sun for a long time, because the melanin is trying to protect your skin from skin cancer and the sun itself.
Yeah.
The melanin, as we move to cold climates, the Europeans, the Americas, well, the Europeans mainly, we didn't need as much melanin because the sun wasn't out as much. It wasn't as hot. It was colder. We didn't need the melanin.
No.
And naturally, through evolution, the melanin dispersed from our skin and left us with a fairer skin to allow us to survive in a colder climate.
Yeah.
That is all, ladies and gentlemen. That is all. We are one race.
And
I am
the
sick
fact
of
that these
racism.
racist fucks think they can get away with it because there's no one black, it doesn't matter. You were racist.
Yeah. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
And sticking with the lines of stupidity, here is almost where natural selection took over, but Jesus took the wheel.
Jesus, next time, let him crash.
Yeah. A woman nearly died because she was injecting pure fruit juice of 20 different fruits directly into her bloodstream. She loves alternative medicine, this woman, 51-year-old Zeng. But she was injecting 20 different fruits into her bloodstream using a homemade IV drip. Her temperature started to rise, she felt itchy and didn't do anything about it. I mean, why wouldn't you do anything about it? Your body is obviously telling you you're doing something stupid, stop. But she didn't, she carried on. Now, I'm not totally sure what necessarily was the main issue of this. I believe what actually happened is that what was actually happening is her blood became so diluted with the acids and aminos and everything else in the fruit juice that it was actually potentially killing her of sepsis.
She only went to the hospital, by the way, because her husband went, "Oi, what's up with you? Oh, I did this. You bitch, get to hospital now."
Basically, she ended up having to have severe dialysis. Her entire blood had to be washed to remove the fruit juice. And she was given antibiotics to help counter any sorts of things such as sepsis. And it took 5 days for her condition to improve. She believed that because the fruits are very nutritious, it wouldn't do her any harm by injecting them into her body. There is a reason. We have a digestive system that breaks down anything you eat and drink into what your body can use. You don't inject fruit juice. If we injected our food, then we would have always injected our food. But we don't inject our food. We eat and drink our food and drink. And we do not inject it. And this is where realistically this woman should have been left to just die
and get rid of the idiocy.
This is why I am very much up for a mass extinction event where we remove
humans,
around about 75% of the entire human population, and we start again.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Finally, we're going to end on this.
And it's a bit of good news.
A male contraceptive pill is on the way, and it'll change your sex life forever.
The reason I'm saying it's a bit of good news is because that for the last years,
we're done doing maths at this point.
Basically, the contraception has been either men use a condom, or women either take the pill, the coil, the injection, the implant, the femidom, the dental dam, the female diaphragm.
The Morrisons carry a bag with an elastic band.
Do you see how many different things I've just listed there for women, yet only men have the condom?
And obviously the flip side is the surgery for both, if you can fucking get your doctor to agree with it.
Of course, the surgery for both, it's that thing of you may not want children now because you're in your 20s, but when you hit your 30s, you may think to want to have children. But after the surgery, there is a very good chance that they may not actually be able to retie or to untie tubes or reattach your tubes, and for you to allow to use it, or your frozen sperm, if you can afford to keep it frozen. Because they don't freeze your sperm for free, and they will only normally keep your sperm for 10 years. So, the surgery is a very much open and shut type solution. Contraception is... Most mass-produced contraception is just a way of temporarily avoiding the fact. But the male pill, for me, is the better option. And the reason being is because you don't... you can shoot at a vest.
Yeah.
But the vest might break. But if you want to load the gun...
Yeah, no, completely.
I personally would take the pill. The reason we're saying this is because they've actually tested it on humans now. They've been talking about the male pill for years.
They really have.
They've finally got a formula that works, and it works because they've tested it on humans and it works. Obviously it's still in development.
Yeah.
It's not like, they've tested it on humans and now it's going to be rolled out mass produced next week. It's not what they're saying. But they have been able to modify testosterone that allows them to basically not stop but drop sperm production rate. Now, when a man produces billions of sperm a day, billions upon billions, if you can stop, if you can slow that production rate down so it's not billions, it's thousands, the chances of getting pregnant drop from 80% to 10%.
Yeah.
And realistically, that's contraception.
Yeah.
The implant is not 100%. The condom is definitely not 100%. Neither are any of the other forms of contraception. People have gotten pregnant on the pill, the coil, they just lessen the rate. And if you can lessen the amount of sperm, you will lessen the amount you will get pregnant.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And I'm not saying that you would then start using the pill and then you stop using condoms. No, absolutely not. Because the condom is not just a protection against pregnancy. It is main protection nowadays is actually against STDs and infections.
Yeah.
AIDS, HIV, gonorrhea,
all the
chlamydia, the clap, whatever. So obviously this pill would be used in conjunction with. And potentially, if men are taking the pill and women are taking the pill and they're using a condom...
Well, at that point, I'm sorry, if a kid's born, then Jesus took the fucking wheel off you.
Yeah, literally. Jesus, once again, took your dick and he took that sperm and he fucking fired it with a grenade launcher into that egg to make sure. So, I think this is good because, realistically, I think that it should be a responsibility. Men should take more of a responsibility in this.
They should.
Because realistically, you can't have a baby without sperm. You can't have a baby without an egg, but you can't have a baby without sperm either. And realistically, the only protection men have ever really had against that is a millimetre thick piece of rubber.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's enough.
No, there needed to be more, and I'm glad we're finally
because there's always been
getting there.
Because there is always that thing, and you hear about it a lot, and you've seen it in the films a lot, and it does happen in real life as well. That a man goes out to a nightclub, picks up a bird, they go home, they put the Johnny on, they have sex, but the Johnny broke.
Yeah.
And she gets pregnant. And now he and she didn't want that kid. Now they're both lumbered with a financial and personal responsibility.
Because for some bizarre reason, which I still don't get, this is a personal thing, I don't get why women don't want a kid but then don't want an abortion. I don't always get that myself.
If you're against abortion, you're against abortion at the end of the day. But if you don't want that child, don't bring that child up.
Yeah.
Have the baby and put it up for an adoption. There are millions of parents out there, potential parents that want children, and
they can't have them because of whatever
reason. You could help them with that. But I think that the male contraceptive pill is something that needs to be out soon. They did the test of 40 men. 10 men received a placebo. I'm assuming that the placebo effect may not have actually worked in this case, because this is, I don't know, the placebo effect is one of those things. It's one of those things where mind over matter.
Do you want to know what the placebo, I think, would have done, if anything? Made them feel more impotent.
Yeah, it made me less likely to want to have sex.
But that's, again, just
the study found, all pills come with side effects. So 30 men received the 11 beta pill, okay? But they received it in different doses. 14 took 200 milligrams and 16 took 400 milligrams. The subjects took the drugs or placebo once a day with food for 28 days. The study found that the side effects were few and mild. They included fatigue, acne, and headaches. Not that much, really. A little bit of fatigue.
That was more than likely the body getting used to the imbalance.
And also, it could have also just been that they were doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Acne, unfortunately, anything can cause an outbreak.
Again,
of acne.
that could well have been the hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you women get it quite often when they go on the pill.
Yeah, well, some women, the pill can stop women's periods. It can make them be on a period for heavy periods for a long period of time. Because of the hormone imbalance. But once you get used to that hormone imbalance, these things can stop. Headaches, unfortunately, you can get headaches.
You're putting a chemical in your body.
You can take a paracetamol for a headache, and your headache can get worse.
Yeah.
5 men reported a mild decrease in sex drive. 2 men described a mild erectile dysfunction, but sexual activity was not decreased. With that, you cannot be taking anything and have a bit of mild erectile dysfunction. You maybe not just feel completely into it. You're going through the motions, but you're not completely happy. You know what I mean? Your mood can affect your sex drive. If you're unhappy, you're less likely to want to have sex.
They're basically now planning longer studies and more studies and testing them.
Obviously, they're not going to release this until men have been taking this drug for over a year without any real side effects.
Other than a bit of headache and a bit of acne and a bit of fatigue. That's fine. But yeah, it does look like they're moving forward testing it. And hopefully we'll see something in the not too distant future.
I would hope within the next 5 to 10 years this is on the market.
There you go. Be available in about 10 years.
Yeah.
The one of the doctors even said that. Stephanie Page. Safe reversible male hormone contraception should be made available in about 10 years, which
I think she is over-promising there. Oh no, under-promising, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they're under-promising there, because I think that realistically, with the leaps and bounds we make in all technology, medical technology and everything else, I think that realistically, anything we say today, in 5 years, should be a reality.
But she said 10. If it's sooner, winner, it won't be later than 10.
Yes.
So she's been sensible, and realistic.
I think that it should move forward really well.
Yeah. But here we are at the end. How long have we been going for today?
About an hour and 10.
That's not bad. We've done well today. We've been good.
We have been very good. I'm looking forward to coming back to your ears soon with my co-host here for another special.
Yeah.
Maybe try and get one of those done in a week or two.
Yeah.
Also, we will be
live
next week. Continuing the Resident Evil 2 Claire.
Yeah. Or continuing Resident Evil 2.
That's what I meant.
Starting Resi 2 Claire.
So we'll be back live next week. We hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.